In the top left corner of the map, we have from Team Axiom, one of the newest addition to, actually just kidding, Mia's the newest addition to the team. The second addition to the team, forming from Team Slayers, it is Ryung, the semifinalist in GSL Season 5 of 2012, and really starting to come onto his own. Used to be known as a TVT specialist, and showed an absolute clinic in his games against Marine King in his round of 8. In the bottom left, we have from Team Evil Genius's raid call, it is PuMa, the Season 1 and Season 2 champion. You heard it from us, you heard it from Clutch. This guy has great skin, and he's got great builds. I can't wait to see how PuMa does. TVT is also a matchup that he is phenomenal at.
That's right, we saw him face off in the regular season against a lot of Terrans, actually just 2 Terrans, but in all of his TVTs, he looked just insane. I remember situations where he would be attacking into siege tanks with less units and still come out on top. Don't ask me how he did it. He just did it. This guy is so good with just those small little subtle changes that give him that plus 25, plus 30% efficiency with his attacks.
PuMa is very much like a shoot first, ask questions later type of player. Just really likes momentary decision making and instantaneous reactions to what he needs to do. Love his tactical decision making as well, especially when it comes to medevac usage. Sometimes he learns of a position and then just automatically just reads, this is what I need to do, like ferry in over the siege tank, drop here, and then all of a sudden recognizes his opening and then completely just disassembles his opponent. It's actually really cool to watch PuMa play TVT when it's Marine Tank versus Marine Tank. Now PuMa can play multiple styles. He can play mech, he can play bio, which is the mark of any good TVT player. But he also really likes opening up this early harass style with Banshees. That's what Clutch wanted to say at the very last second, but never was able to. PuMa also has good Banshee control. And Ryung, in his openings with TVT, has been seeing very nice diversity as well. And I really don't know who I can say is the favorite right now.
It will be very tough. Now, both these players opening up gas first. You can already see a little bit of a deviation. Tech Lab, oh, no, that's a Tech Lab. I thought one of these were a reactor for some reason. But both of them getting a Tech Lab very early. This is for the Starport that's going to come up pretty soon. Both these players actually shooting over for Banshee. Now here's the deviation. We can see PuMa in the bottom left-hand corner, only a single gas. In the top left-hand corner, we have a second gas going down. Now that second gas is indicative of Cloak. So we're going to see Cloak coming out from Ryung. PuMa not going to have that. Let's see if he can actually hold his expansion, because normally you will go for that Starport Banshee and just have enough to get that command center and do some additional harass.
That's right, and so, I mean, he's going to get a little bit ahead, but how many SUVs will he lose? Now, normally when you do those Cloak Banshees, when you go Cloakless Banshee and you go for some kind of harass, and you sense that they're going for Cloak Banshees, you get a Viking out yourself, and PuMa should be able to be fine. But it's all about your spidey senses. You know, neither player has really moved out to scout. They're just playing very blindly, but of course they can, because I mean, they're playing safe enough within their blind play.
That's right. And of course, we have scouts coming out from both these players. PuMa is going to scout cross position, see that nope, you're not over there, so he knows he's in the top left-hand corner. Of course, Ryung going to scout his opponent out right away. Now the big question is, does PuMa actually get the engineering bay? The standard is to get it at 6 minutes. 6 minutes. By the time that happens, most Banshee techs will arrive at 7 minutes. Now, a gas first will actually arrive 30 seconds faster, but that's going to be the real test. Does he get that eBay up ASAP? And it looks like no, he's not doing that, Frodan. This is actually very, very scary for PuMa.
Ryung going to start a bunkering on top of his ramp. Now, if he splits really well, he should be able to handle the Hellions, because PuMa won't be able to shoot him all at the same time simultaneously. PuMa still checking the natural, but he has his Banshee accompanying him, and the Banshees kind of nonchalantly pass each other. He's going to use the Banshee to poke it down and line up the Marines. Very nice. And again, that's what we're kind of talking about. The instantaneous decision-making from PuMa is often so smart and on point.
That's right, and he kills most of the Marines there. Now a Hellion and a Banshee. These two units are going to do so much damage. Where's that Banshee from Ryung? He's trying to snipe this command center.
Nice.
Engineering Bay is coming up here, but I think this one Viking is actually going to really give PuMa a lot of position here.
Yeah, because then Ryung realizes he's on the clock. He can't harass forever.
Gosh.
Versus this Banshee can literally harass forever because the form of anti-air is extremely weak. One Marine is out, and this Banshee has 19 kills, and it keeps on climbing.
Yeah, you might ask yourself, why is PuMa not actually scanning? Well, if he scans, the Banshee's just going to run away. He's saying to himself, let me get out an extra Viking, and then I can do something about it. He's also trying to just wait until this cloak is actually finished. But you can see, wow, PuMa getting out here with the Banshee. 25 kills. He's commander. Absolutely insane.
And the Banshee trying to get away, using the Vikings moving shot.
Oh, nice.
And should be able to get the last. No, two hit points because he has to worry about another one. Now he has to get the turret up, but PuMa will be very far ahead, using the scan to buy time for that missile turret to go up. And PuMa very nicely able to get a large advantage because his command center is still almost done, on top of the fact that his SCV count is ahead. Very nicely done.
That's right. Another scan is going to pick that off. That's such intelligent use of your scans. A lot of lesser players would have just scanned there and said, please stop attacking me. But PuMa's saying, well, if I scan, I have nothing after that to actually fall back on. I have no turrets. I have no additional units to really wait for. So he says, okay, I'll just weather the storm, because no matter what, I'll have to weather this amount of SCV kills. And then from there, I'll just wait until my eBay is finished. Then the turret can come up. I can then scan and wait until that turret finishes. Then I have further detection. Really, really intelligent play. Now, 3 Vikings is the perfect amount to scan once and kill a Banshee. That's why you actually stop at 3 normally. He's going in here to the main, and he might just drop down here, Frodan.
And kill off the remaining SCV, targeting down the Mule. Oh, the Mule ends up dying. That's a massive pick off. Meanwhile, Ryung still working on things here into PuMa's base, but he's got double orbital. He can afford to lose a couple of mineral resources here and there. Now, one thing that's also pretty important is that PuMa finished Stim. So as soon as he starts getting Marines out into the field, he's going to dominate it, and he's getting combat shields. His upgrades are so far ahead.
Yeah, Stim is just absolutely monumental here. As you can see, the Stim Marines will take out the Banshee that didn't have enough energy for Cloak. That's why he couldn't really get away there. It looks like Ryung will try to do one last attack. Now, this looks like it could do a little bit of damage, but it will be hard. With Stim and combat shields already finished here, it's actually almost impossible for PuMa to lose this.
Yeah, he's actually going to just buy time, using the natural to kind of soak up some damage while he's able to get out some important things. He is supply block, though, and that's going to hurt. He would have had a medevac out by now, and he would have been able to start healing up some of his Marines. But Ryung really can't push too far into this. There's no way he can actually force himself up the ramp, so he's just going to set up a light contain while he recovers himself economically.
That's right. I mean, all you really have to worry about right now is your Marines staying alive. Ryung can't really push up into this position.
Oh man, he's losing so much. The Marines do end up finishing, and the bunker does end up sniping most of the units. Ryung really doesn't have anything. He knows his opponent's on 2 command centers as well. But if there's anything we've learned in the past couple of nights, Ryung never says die in TVT.
That's right. Now that medevac is out, though, this is so very scary for Ryung. I mean, where does he really go from here? He doesn't have any potential to actually harass his opponent with those Vikings out in the field. He doesn't have any potential to really keep up with the economy, though. So he's putting, he's put in between a rock and a hard place. He doesn't really have a good solution to figure out this problem, which is PuMa.
Yeah, and the way things are looking, Ryung wants to set up another expansion, but he's so far behind. He has to harass a ton. Now, picking off these mules with the Banshee is nice, but nice scan from PuMa. Should be able to take out that Banshee almost immediately. And that Banshee is just so costly. Ryung can't really afford to make another Banshee.
That's right. This is what I was talking about. I mean, the Banshees try to do something, but with 4 Vikings, you 2-shot everything. With 3 Vikings, you actually 3-shot it, but still it's... No, I think 3 Vikings, you actually 2-shot as well. No, I can't remember.
Well, it does do 10 damage times 2 volleys, right? So
yeah,
it's 60. 60 times 2 is 120. That's not enough. Just barely not enough.
Yeah.
But I mean, still, PuMa's floating over here. Anything that pops out of Starport will die almost instantaneously. PuMa just lands his Vikings and just trying to do as much damage as possible. Vikings also lift to try to evacuate, but I mean, he sees his opponent really doesn't have anything. No army, no real economy, no upgrades. There's no add-on to the barracks at all.
There's no advantage. absolutely no advantage. Ryung is going to try to do one last attack here. He can't afford to get any medevacs to actually help out with his Marines because the Vikings are out in the field. They'll instantly just drop those. Banshees are going to come yet again into the natural. This is actually doing some pretty good damage, but it will get cleaned up pretty fast. Not only stim Marines, but you also have those Vikings that are impending as well. Now, Marines with medevacs are going to come over here. There's no way to actually stop this if he actually goes across the map. You can see Hellions are already in the middle, and the Marines are going to surprise the other Marines over here. Can this Cloak Banshee actually clear all this up? I mean, PuMa has to be AFK for a very long time for that to happen.
Even then, I mean, PuMa can... I mean, he has to just make sure to dodge a lot of the Hellion streams, and he's just going to try to split up his Marines. He does have a lot of weak units, but it doesn't really matter because he's able to kite back and take out most of the units. And with medevacs out, GG. PuMa takes the game and will move on to play Golden.
That's right, Golden, and if he wins against Golden, it's the Muslim. Unfortunately for Ryung, he will have the tougher seeding. He has to play against Dark, who we know to be very powerful and a huge infestor proponent, and then go on to face off against Hyun. That is absolutely horrendous. I mean, I'm scared of that.
So we have finished all of our tiebreakers, which means our wild cards have all been sorted. Let's look at the top half of the bracket, which we'll be casting tonight. Oz versus Naniwa, Hero versus Chef, Sen versus Zenyo, and Sort of versus Mana. Of course, the bottom half, which will be casted tomorrow, Golden versus PuMa, MMA versus Hug, Vibe versus Alicia, and Hyun versus Ryung. Oh my. That's actually quite unfortunate because I think those two guys are definitely finals worthy, but only one person will be advancing. That game was brought to you by actually we have to talk about our finals first before that. We talk about all of our finals December 8th to 9th, $20 off promo code if you use LA Byte. So make sure to check that out, guys. The first round tickets are gone. We're selling out fast. Pick up yours today. That way you can interact with. It's not going to be just the finals, Andre. We have lots of cool stuff, but we'll be announcing that later. Day 9 is going to be there. We also have another unannounced guest that will be joining the NASL
I don't
crew.
even know who it is.
Well, you'll have to find out, man. Pay attention to NASL.tv, Andre. Duh. Thank you, Squarespace, the makers of great, fine websites. If you want to create your own, go to NASL.tv/p/Squarespace for more information. When we come back, our first wild card match will commence. It is going to be between Oz and Naniwa, because Arthur won that series. So PvP, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a sec.